Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got 3 replays in the Cold War Eastern Alliance Tech Tree medium tank, the TVP 88. Now if you did like the video, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe down below as it really does help out the channel. And yes, the TVP 88, they have announced that there is going to be a continuation of the Czech and Romanian Tech Tree, and so we're going to do what we do every time they release a new Tech Tree. We're just going to go through every tank in the line, play through them, you'll see the grind, see how the tank is when it's stock, to mid, to fully upgraded, and just get a general bearing for this tank. Now well, for any of the tanks really. Now this tank is a tank that I've already ground out, and I ground it out on the free-to-play account, and to be quite frank, it was horrific to grind out on the free-to-play account. Playing it on the main account and having all the crew skills, that sort of stuff, absolutely massively different experience. This tank was far easier to grind because the guns felt a little bit better. But to be perfectly honest with you, this stock gun was the best experience I had playing the tank. Which is, you know, it's a little bit sad when it's like that, because the middle gun is exceptionally derpy, and the top gun is still a little bit derpy as well, which can be a bit frustrating, and you don't quite have, well, you lose alpha, essentially, compared to what you get on the other two. So it's one of those things of, it's a pure choice on this tank as to what gun you want to run. So this first replay is stock, and we have the stock 100mm gun, which, with the build that I run, has 0.25 accuracy, 1.68 accuracy during movement, 0.63 accuracy during rotation, which means the aim circle isn't too bad when it blooms out, and you've got 1.63 second aim time as well, which means it aims in exceptionally quickly. You've got 5.83 second reload, which is 3.3k DPM, which is not too bad. The downside is you have 175 penetration, which means you do struggle with quite a few tanks in Era 1, but you have 250 heat pen, which really doesn't struggle with a lot of vehicles. So, you know, if you're struggling to pen things with 175, you just load the heat rounds, and then you won't have any problems whatsoever. You got 320 alpha damage on this gun, with 925 meters a second shell velocity on the standard AP, and 1050 meters a second shell velocity on the premium heat rounds, which means that the premium heat rounds is actually faster than the standard rounds, which is, you know, okay. You have 8 degrees of gun depression with this gun as well, which means you are fairly flexible on a ridgeline, which can be quite nice for the TVP 88. You've got 37.38 degrees a second on this stock turret, which is pretty quick, but it is slower than the track traverse with the stock tracks, which is 43.75 degrees a second, which means your track traverse is way faster than your turret, so just be careful of that. When you're stock, you have a 50 km/h top speed with a 20 km/h reverse speed, which means you're fairly mobile. 17.86 horsepower per ton ratio means you hit that top speed anyway, which is not too bad for the TVP VTU. This tank doesn't really have any armour, and that is a problem for the TVP VTU, which means you are a true support vehicle. You don't want to be the focal point of people's attentions, because it's just not going to go too well for you, because they're just going to rip you to shreds. And yeah, it's something that you don't want to be doing in the TVP 88. You want to be doing what we've seen in this game, where we are supporting our teammates as they're pushing through. They're the ones taking the hits, but we're the ones that are also helping to dish the damage out and get rid of the vehicles in front of us. It's just what the TVP wants to be doing. So what do I run in terms of a crew and equipment on this vehicle? Because those are the stats I have while I've got it fully crewed out. And I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, Track Mechanic, Clutch Braking, Rapid Aim, with the Advanced Loader, the Gun Stabilizer, and Vents. Vents to make everything about the tank better, including the DPM, the gun handling, all that good stuff. The Gun Stabilizer to make the gun as good as humanly possible, and the Advanced Loader to get the best out of the reload. All 3 gun perks to make sure that, again, the gun is as good as possible, because if you don't help it, and especially when you get to the later guns, you really feel it. If you do not help it, it's horrific. Clutch Braking to make the track traverse better, and Rapid Aim to make the turret traverse better as well. That crew is a very catch-all crew, and it's one that I'm going to run on the entire line pretty much, because it just helps everything out and makes the tank generally feel really nice. There's, obviously, depending on the tank, there might be a perk that you decide to drop out, like Clutch Braking if the track traverse is too quick for you, or Rapid Aim if you feel like the turret traverse is fast enough, and drop out for something like Armour Angling or any other perk like that, Pain Tolerance, etc, etc. Preventative Maintenance if you feel like it gets set on fire a lot. You know, it's down to you and how you want to play the vehicle. There's plenty of ways to set it up. I just like having the catch-all crew to make the track traverse, turret traverse, this gun feel as good as it humanly can do. But that was the first game. That was completely stock in this vehicle, so that well, you could just see what it was like while it was stock. Pretty nice game, but that's exactly how you want to be playing this thing. You want to be playing it so that you are supporting your teammates where you can. So now we're on to the second replay. In the second replay, we are now fully upgraded in all but the gun. And we've moved on to the second gun that you could pick to use on this tank. Now, bear in mind, like I say, the stock gun was the one that I had the most consistent time in. It's the gun that I truly felt the comfiest with playing this tank. Penetration didn't matter, because I could switch between the AP and the heat as I wanted to. It was just in terms of the DPM and the general accuracy and feeling of the gun. Because for some reason, the 88mm, the last gun, feels fairly derpy at times. I'm sitting there going, I don't know why. This gun especially is very derpy. Which is going to be, because it's the higher alpha gun. But we've also lost DPM. We have gained significant penetration, though. So this 105mm gun now has 241 penetration on its standard AP rounds, with 287 penetration on its premium APCR rounds, which is fantastic. Penetration, fantastic. Won't struggle with anything in this era. Great. If you hit. So you've got 360 alpha damage on these rounds as well, which means it hits hard, which is lovely. 1,005 meters a second shell velocity on the standard AP rounds, with 1,120 meters a second shell velocity on the premium APCR rounds, which is slightly above average, which isn't too bad as well for the velocity. You've got a 2.08 second aim time, which again has gotten worse from the stock gun. You've got a 0.32 accuracy at 100 meters with the build that I run, which is again worse than the stock gun by quite a margin. You've got 1.98 accuracy during movement with 1.01 accuracy during rotation, which means the aim circle blooms out quite a lot on this vehicle with this gun, and it's a hell of a lot worse than that 100mm gun as well, which, yeah, makes the aim time increase as well feel a bit more painful. You've got a 7.47 second reload, which is 2.9k DPM, which means you've also lost about 400 DPM, which means you do a lot less damage well, you don't do damage quite as quickly as you did with the previous gun. That's the best way of saying that. So, yeah, you lose quite a lot to gain extra penetration and alpha damage, which is why I say you might be better to stick with the stock gun. You also have 6 degrees of gun depression with this gun, too, which is a bit limiting on such a tall tank and can be a bit irritating at times as well. One thing to note with the stock gun is that if you run the stock turret, you've got 8 degrees of gun depression. But if you run the top turret, you actually drop to 6 degrees of gun depression. So what you might want to do is run the stock turret with the stock gun, and that way you'll have good gun depression, gun accuracy, aim time, DPM. You just got bad penetration, right? So that might be an outlet that you can have for doing more damage in this vehicle and just having a better time with it. Because that's the way I'd probably end up fully grinding it out with anyway, to be honest, rather than using this gun or the next gun. But I digress. So this middle gun that we've got here, this 105mm, like I say, is pretty derpy. You're seeing that right now, which is why I wanted to use this replay, because it shows you all the good stuff that this gun can have, like having the nice alpha, the nice penetration, and it shows you all the bad about it as well, where it just goes, you know what, I'm going to hit that shot, or I'm just going to hit the floor. Yeah, floor. You know, that's just the way that this gun can be. It can be really frustrating. But now you're fully upgraded in this vehicle as well, because we've got everything fully upgraded except for this gun. We've now got a 56 km/h top speed, with a 24 km/h reverse speed, the 19.21 horsepower per ton ratio, meaning that we are way quicker, we get up to the top speed even faster. The mobility in general is very, very nice on this vehicle now. We've got 498 meters of view range, meaning we can spot for ourselves quite well in the TVP. We've got 48 degrees a second on the hull rotation speed, with 39 on the turret rotation speed, which yet again, it's 9 degrees a second faster on the hull rotation than the turret traverse, which can be a bit frustrating, but there we go. So yeah, the 105mm gun, like I say, it's nicer to have the alpha, but honestly, I was like, you know what, when I was grinding through it, this TVP VTU, with the stock gun, it's not too bad. It hits the shots off fire. It fires really quickly. It's quite nice. I'm just lacking penetration. And then I moved up to this gun, and I was just thoroughly disappointed, not going to lie. I was like, yeah, I got penetration now, but then I didn't really hit things that often, which, yeah, it was annoying. And then I moved up to the 88mm gun, the top gun, technically, in the linear progression system, and it was like, I've got less alpha now, and I you know, don't have much that I didn't have with the stock gun, except for penetration. Oh. Okay, well, sure, you know. I just felt like even the fully upgraded gun technically was a bit disappointing compared to the stock gun. So for me personally with this tank, I would fully recommend just running the stock gun all the way through with the stock turret to have the better gun depression, and you'll feel that it's a little bit more comfortable in general. But then you get through the TVP 88 pretty quickly anyway. All the entry era vehicles you do get through pretty damn quickly. So, as you've seen in this second replay so far, we're up to 3.7k damage, 674 assistance. You've seen this gun in action. The good, the bad, the ugly. It hits shots, it hits hard, it's nice. But the reload's a bit slow. The derpiness, the amount of times it misses shots that you sit there going, why? Is frustrating, and yeah, it's just a bit of a frustrating gun to use. Like I say, I wouldn't recommend it that much. But the penetration is definitely a nice factor for the gun, because it just means you don't actually bounce many shots. So far, we're trying to get some shots into the Jagdpanzer 4.5, trying to get the finish on him or this Type 59. But that shot there puts us down to a very low HP, which means we could quite easily get two-tapped by both of them. And I don't particularly want that, but if I can get the kill shot on either here, that would be good. So we're just going for the kill shot on the Type 59. And of course we bounce off his upper plate there. That was one of those moments where it was like, really? We take a hit from the Jagdpanzer 4.5 because I took the opportunity to potentially kill him in one shot. But naturally, 360 alpha went, lol. I see your 360 alpha and I offer you 320 odd, leaving him on 4 HP. Meaning that mercy rolls happened and he's still alive. 5.5k damage with 1711 assistance damage, and I'm stuck in a position where I'm like, this is awkward. I'm now a one-shot for both of them. They're both watching this ridgeline. I took the hit in the hope that I could just get rid of the Jagdpanzer 4.5, but it didn't. So you know what? We're going to try and flank them. We're going to get round them and see if we can get rid of the Type 59 or the Jagdpanzer 4.5 by catching them out. Hopefully they're not going to expect me to make the flanking play, and they're just going to expect me to poke up in the exact same spot that I poked up again in a minute ago. And in fact, yeah, the Type 59, we're just using True Vision to see if we could see that Jagdpanzer 4.5. We can't, and we catch the Type 59 out right there, right then. We are 10 seconds away from capping, so I know, you know what, we're probably going to win this. So let's just be aggressive. Let's go after this Jagdpanzer 4.5. He ends up coming down, and let's chance it. Why not? We finish him off with the shot there. Thankfully, the gun that time didn't derp. What was the point? You know, what was the point in not chancing it? We were going to win anyway. We finished the game with the 3 kills, 5.6k damage, 1711 assistance damage. The ace tank at the high caliber, 1868 base XP. Pretty nice game there again for the 105mm gun on this vehicle. Just showed off what the gun is capable of, what I was on about in general, where the gun just sits there going, no, I'm just going to miss those shots. And you sit there going, but why? Why, gun? Why do you do this to me, right? Can be pretty frustrating, but there we go. We're on to the final replay of the video, though, and this one we are fully upgraded. We've got all the top bits and bobs from the linear progression system, and we're on to the 88mm gun. So this 88mm gun, it loses the alpha damage, because obviously the stock gun, the stock 100, had 320, the 105 had 360. This, as an 88, has 240 alpha. Which means we've got lower alpha than the other two, which means we don't quite punch as hard, which is a little bit less satisfying to me personally. But there we go. We've got 4.62 second reload, which is really quick. 3.1k DPM, which is, again, lower than the stock gun by about 200 odd. But we have 267 penetration, with 318mm of penetration on the premium APCR. So the standard AP is pretty good penetration, the same as the premium APCR. We've also got 90mm of HE pen, by the way, which is something not to sniff at, but it's only got 295 damage, which is a little bit low for a HE round compared to the standard round, but yeah, okay, whatever. We've got 1,000 meters of second shell velocity on that standard AP, with 1,030 meters of second shell velocity on the premium APCR. 600 meters of second shell velocity on the standard HE is very, very slow, so you've got to be very, very careful of that if you do use the HE, but yeah, the velocity is fairly average on the other two rounds. We've got 0.27 accuracy at 100 meters, which again is slightly worse than the stock gun, but not too much. 1.68 accuracy during movement with 0.57 accuracy during rotation. Again, means that the aim circle doesn't bloom out quite as much with the 88mm, which isn't that bad. 1.81 second aim time means it aims in super duper quickly as well, even if it does bloom out. So this gun is pretty much always ready to go as well, pretty much like the stock gun is. And you do have that 6 degrees of gun depression too on this gun, which can be a bit limiting. If you were to put the stock turret on this gun, you do get 8 degrees of gun depression though. And there's not much change to any of the other statistics, except for your view range. So quite frankly, if you're going to run the 88mm gun, or the 100mm gun, not the 105, run the stock turret. You may lose a bit of rotation speed and a bit of view range, but that extra gun depression is a thing of beauty. So you want to have that if you can. Trust me, run the stock turret on the first gun and the last gun. Have better gun depression and not suffer too much else in that regard, because the gun depression at 6 is super frustrating at times on this vehicle because of how tall it is as well. So as you can see on this final replay, we are on Mannheim, and on Mannheim we are fully upgraded. Like I say, we don't actually have the stock turret, so we've got 6 degrees of gun depression, which can be a bit frustrating. But like I said, this gun is a bit derpy at times, but it's really not too bad. It's just like the stock gun in the same way that it can be fairly consistent. I just prefer the stock gun for the 320 Alpha. The 240 Alpha's a bit low, realistically, for the DPM that I have. And I feel like I'm more impactful when I have 320. Obviously, it comes with a price, and that is the penetration, because the penetration on this Top Gun is really good with that 267 and 318. But yeah, it's nicer to have the alpha damage, and if I need to pen things, I just load the premium rounds, right? That's the way it is. So we've come to the bridge on Mannheim, or the overpass, I should say, really. And that is so that we can try and farm up this 4005. We got rid of the other 4005, and if you can get rid of the 4005s, you always want to get rid of the 4005s, because, well, do you want 183mm of pain? I certainly don't. It's not enjoyable, trust me on experience, you know, it's not pleasant. So we don't want that guy to live if we can. But sadly, he's super mobile. So he just went, absolutely not. No, no, definitely not. I'm out of dodge. And he Ollivandered his way away from us, which is a sad, sad time. So we're up to 4,060 damage, 1,546 assistance, and we're going to try and close in behind the medium tank here at G6, being exceptionally mindful where that 4005 has gone. We get spotted and I go, okay, that was the 4005. He must have caught a glimpse of me. Where is he? He's done it again. I assume he caught a glimpse of me when he went past that gap I just aimed through. Because we're now not spotted anymore, so he's not within our view range. We get spotted again, though. And I'm like, okay. Not seeing what that could have been, but there we go. We're trying to get some shots into the E3, but shooting up at him on the overpasses. This is, again, where the gun is a little bit like, really? We should be hitting these shots, gun. What is this? We get spotted again. This is why Sixth Sense is a vital thing in Cold War, even. And it's a charioteer who is... Oh, he's AFK. His gun's pointing at the floor. Really weird. But yeah, this is why Sixth Sense is a vital thing even in Cold War. Because we were getting spotted. So which meant that something was within our vicinity. So we just had to keep our eyes peeled as to where that vehicle was. If we didn't have Sixth Sense, we'd have just kept going tra-la-la-la-la as we're driving along, and then we probably would have gone boom as the 183mm gun just absolutely trounces us because we weren't being careful. But when we're spotted, we're going a bit more careful, a bit more like, oh, we're spotted. There's definitely something around here, right? And that way you can try and find the enemy target and get rid of it. So we're trying to get some shots into the M103. We missed 2 shots that were like, I feel like I probably should have hit those. And then we hit the shot that was a pixel shot, because why don't we, you know? The Tyran 4 in front of us is going through. I was hoping to try and track the Tyran 4 there, but sadly he managed to get himself... Well, sadly we just penned him and didn't track him. He gets himself behind the little overpass section, meaning that I can't get any shots at him, but he backs out directly in front of us. We only do... we didn't even blow his tracks off. We only did track damage, which is where having the lower module damage of an 88mm gun as well is a little bit annoying compared to having the 105 or having the 100mm, because you're more likely to blow the tracks first off. Well, blow the tracks off first time with the other two guns, whereas this gun is less likely to do it. It might take one or two, sorry, to do it. So we managed to sneak up behind the 4005. We've damaged his ammo rack, and I'm like, oh, please let me kill you. We get 2 shots in. Can we get the kill? In fact, our 4005 shuts him down, and we finished the game with 5.4k damage, 2.5k assistance damage. The victory, 1 kill, 1959 base XP. A really nice game there for the TVP 88mm with the top gun, with the ace tanker. And I'd say, as a tank in Era 1, to grind through, once you have a decent crew in it, because it was horrific with the free-to-play camp, once you got a good crew in it, it's not too bad. Just play it as a support tank. Try and support your team as you go along. Try not to be the focus of everyone's attention, and you'll have a pretty decent time with it. And for me personally, the stock gun was the best one. So that's the start of the line. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success.